Welcome everybody to Appy Hour. Today's topic, ThingLink. And man, is it going to be a rockin' one today. But before we get started, I want to ask folks a question to think about. If you were to bring an object to show and tell to work tomorrow, what would it be and why? Go ahead and think about and share your idea in the chat. Of course, if you're watching this on a recording, just think. What would you do tomorrow, and why would some ideas coming in? It's one you kind of need to pause and think about for a second. Lynn has his son's report card with his straight A sticker. Fantastic. I choose to bring in my grandfather's retirement present, which sadly we're in the process of moving, so it's packed, or man, would you have gotten a picture. But it's pretty much a really cool old vase that was lacquered over with all these little cutouts from a newspaper. And I can point to each little piece of paper on there, just like Lynn might point to the class she knows her son worked the hardest in, and the one that he is good at, the one that he feels most proud of, the one where he struggled the most but overcame. We could all put and bring in an object, and that's what's fun about show and tell, is that you can show and tell a lot of things about it. And I'm explaining to you verbally now, how much cooler would it be? How much more powerful would it be if you had a visual and we were saying it out loud? One of the things about universal learning for design, we give students a chance to show what they know in different ways, not just saying it out loud, not just writing it on paper, but bringing to life that idea. We're really giving them the vehicles to communicate better. And that's why I'm so super excited about our guest we have on with us today, as well as today's talk, because we're going to dive into a specific app called ThingLink. We're going to talk about how it can be used for both assessment, showing, giving a chance for students to show what they know, as well as instruction. And then we're going to talk about what kids need to know to be able to use it, and what us grown-ups need to know to be able to make it happen in our classroom. And to guide us on that tour today, we actually have a great guest, a winner, if you will. Elise Hawkins is from Wilson Wims. And Elise, can I pull you on the line? Can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your teaching background?
Sure. Like Carrie said, my name is Elise Hawkins. This is my 5th year teaching 4th grade, and I've been here at Wilson Wims up in Clarksburg. This is our senior open over here, and previously I taught 4th grade in Silver Spring.
It has been loves using the Google Apps for EDU. We've had her on before, and we brought her in as to tell us a little bit about how she's using this app called the ThingLink in her instruction. And what I'm going to do is your screen's going to actually change for just a quick second, and I'm going to take you over to the elf. But if you want to visit it, if that's of interest to you, I'm going to throw it in the chat, and you can, of course, join us as we move over. Here is, so those of you guys on recordings, if you need to pause for a second, you could. And those of you guys who are with me, you're going to see my screen change for just a quick sec. And I'm going to take you over to ThingLink right now. Just a quick sec, which is okay. We're heading on over. These things work really fast on your computers. It's just that I'm doing the webinar, and that will sometimes slow things down. There we go. I'm going to show, this is the ThingLink landing page. This is where you would land. And I'm just going to share that we have kind of some quality markers for apps for ourselves. And one of them I love is that you can log in with a Google Apps for EDU account. So your students don't have to remember anything new to be able to get in. As with most apps, you do have to tell Google that you want it to be allowed, so then get yourself in. And you can register who you are, what your different pieces here. And I'm going to say that I'm a teacher. So we know that registration is pretty easy, which is kind of cool. So I ended here. Now I'm going to start deferring a little to telling us why you like this site.
So one of my favorite about instructional technology is finding ways to use apps that are matched for my curriculum in ways that are engaging to the students when I'm instructing, but also have different ways for them to create a product. So instead of just regurgitating information back at me, they use it to create something new. And that's kind of what ThingLink has done for me and my students. I've used it as kind of an activator, kind of to activate prior knowledge. I've used it to kind of track our progress along the way, and then also have students create their own ThingLink to show me what they know, and also to kind of justify their decisions and explain more about what they know. Carrie mentioned UDL at the beginning. I think it's a great connection to make.
Let's see a little, before we do what teachers and students need to know, this is one you did with the science, technology, and engineering. Why don't we show what ThingLink, one of the things ThingLinks can produce. You walk me through what we're looking at here?
Yeah, so Wilson Williams is part of the cohort that's doing the O Now, or Our Neighborhood, Our Watershed program. It's a grid that schools are working through in phases, so if it hasn't hit your 4th grade yet, it will. And part of it is designing and engineering and designing a water collection tool out of recycled materials that then collects runoff water. Runoff water in our schoolyard. So the students worked in groups. They brought in recycled materials, and they had to decide how they're going to design this tool that's going to collect runoff. And they had to make several decisions when they had to decide what materials to use, how to connect them, how it would serve their purpose, and then they make it. So what we did after they had worked in their group's design is took a photo of the water collection tool, uploaded it to ThingLink, and then the students dropped these tags to explain engineering and design. And for me, the engineering and design measurement topic, those indicators, is one of the hardest to assess because it kind of stretches the kids a lot, and it's sometimes hard for them to write or explain to me what they know. But what I loved about this is it made that process more concrete, and they were able to do those tags and could write as much or as little as they want, but were able to kind of isolate each design and explain to me why they did that, and then later on we were able to reflect after we tested them, did that work? And they were able to take it through the engineering and design process, kind of identifying along the way using the tags on why they did what they did and how it works.
And what a cool way for them to show process. You know, they can come in and talk you through something that it's a lot harder, you know, putting that straight in a essay format doesn't tell the same story as this.
Absolutely.
Over here, do you use any of these guys, or these things that were interesting that folks want to know about? We might talk about this a bit later, but one of the features is that a teacher can create a group. Students can log in using their account like we showed, and then be given a code similar to how Google Classroom works, if you're familiar with that, and then they join the teacher's group. And so what I do as a teacher, as a group, is choose an image that I want my students to tag, and then they would go to that image and click that remix button, the very last one, and that would kind of like make a copy of the water collection tool. It would rename it Remix of Water Collection Tool, and now they could edit that image. So if I wanted them all to be working on the same image, it was a map, or it was a good reading lesson and they were going to do some tags with the image of the setting, then they wouldn't have to go find the image themselves. I could post it, they could remix it, and then they would have it there. So that mix button we definitely used a lot. And it's such a clever way to describe it as well. So this is a great, it's part of the process. It helps them process the information. It also shows their assessment. You've got another fun example over here about a grade 1 marking period places. Do you want to tell us a little bit about this one?
This one was our media specialist actually made for the first grade period 3 inquiry project. And I know so much about their the kind of run of their project. This was made kind of as a resource for the teachers and the students. So the students had access to this ThingLink, and depending on what they were researching, they were able to kind of hover over the tag, and then those links, which I'm not sure if you'll have access to them, Carrie, what the permissions are, but they are videos. Oh yeah, there you go. So it kind of shows how you can kind of layer the media in the ThingLink, which is pretty cool. And if the videos are direct from, I believe, YouTube or Vimeo, they kind of show up in the little box, but if they're Drive, they're just links.
So this is a really nice example of how you can frame instruction. I know I've got a number of years in, and I remember my first year of teaching, the amount of effort it would have put in to build a web page with rollovers, with links to all this video. Oh my goodness. But ThingLink makes this, it seems like a breeze. You can frame your instruction in this very visual way that's engaging for kids.
I don't have the example handy for you, but similarly, we're doing like early settlements in social studies. So we have a blank map of the United States, and as we go from St. Augustine to Roanoke to Jamestown to Plymouth, we're adding a map with some links to resources. So same idea, different grade level, but it's a great use for the tool.
Zoom in here. Who was Christopher Columbus as well? This looks like the same concepts that the teachers were using, but the student created it themselves.
Yep. So we in 4th grade go through a bunch of different explorers, and so for this one I posted a few different images of Christopher Columbus. The students got to pick which one they wanted to remix, and then as they were studying his life, they dropped some tags to provide some biographical information for him. So, like you mentioned, a little bit more user-friendly, a little bit easier than putting all that information into an essay. The kids really like it.
I took us from your really cool projects that your students were creating to here to ThingLink. We popped on over. Yes, we would absolutely recommend this to a colleague. In fact, you know what? We're doing it right now. So we'll just put great and okay, so here we are. This is the landing page. Do you want to get students first? But I'm going to defer to you. What do teachers need to know? What do students need to know? Tell us, kind of give us the rundown here.
Okay, so people want to create a group. When they create a group, they'll be given a code that their students can use to join that group. And one caveat we have to share is that with the free version, it limits you to the number of students you can have in your group. So if you're a middle school teacher or a high school teacher where you teach a lot of students, you might max out the number of students that can be in your group with the free version. But for elementary, working with 1 to 2 classes, you should be okay.
So I clicked on Create, and I landed here. Do it by choosing an image.
After you've created your group and your students, or if you want to create one just to use for instruction, yes, where you would start to create a ThingLink is by that Create + button, and then choosing an image, or if it's something you've downloaded, you can drag and drop it into there. And what's great is you see they're kind of in your way right now, but all these available tutorials are really break it down for you how to add them to your group, the ins and outs of tagging. So those are a great resource too.
Which is actually one of our second qualities. We always want to find apps that log in with our Google Apps for EDU account because nobody needs another set of passwords. And we always like when PD is built in. So it's kind of hard to miss it when it comes in. If you're not sure, if you're going back and playing around with this after watching Appy Hour and getting inspired, make sure you take advantage of those tutorials. But we'll You can even attend one of their free webinars, but hopefully we'll give you enough you need to get rolling today. Let's choose an image. We'll pull one of these guys up here, and I'll go to my pictures, and we're just going to pull up one of our Appy Hour favorites. Of course, myself, but why do that when I put my colleague Lisa and a little ThingLink on Lisa? That's kind of the first step. Probably your students already have either picked out an image or taken an image. They get it in here. What do teacher students, what do we need to do next?
So whoever's creating the ThingLink, it's as easy as clicking to add a tag. So you click the image where you'd like to drop the tag, and then you can either link in either a video or a website or another image, or you can just type right into the text box what you want the rollover text to be.
Cool, so we can add in a little bit here. We could be putting in a cool link. So we'll just steal one of these links for now. Right in here. And as you said, we can also do a little bit of tag style. Oops, nope, we don't want to do that. So good, I learned that you don't want to click on tag styling for right now. So we've done that, and we can press Save Tag.
So now you'll see both the image and the text.
We'll get a second one here. We'll add in Lisa loves the gnats.
So something like this for back to school night or an open house, a picture of yourself and kind of about me in a more exciting way.
So a chance to get in and interact, right? Interact as well.
Yeah.
And you can even, looks like you can even search for content over here. What is this search? Your content or content on the web? So Washington Nationals. The fight. We'll do marine throws, pitch. 1934 national scorecard. That looks like a pretty sick bet right there. And it looks like if you click on it, we can save the tags in. A little extra go nats. Finished, a student or teacher just press saved image. And here we are with the ability to share with others, the ability to post. Is that, what does the post do for kids?
It's one I haven't explored too much. What I could post it to the group so that students of care would be your group. So that would be a way to share it with other students. And I believe the channels are like ThingLink channels, but we haven't explored it too much. I found that the easiest way for them to share it with each other is to post it to a Padlet, which is another to become familiar with for sure, but kind of is an easy way with each other. When they create it and they're in your group, their ThingLink will immediately become viewable by you because they're in your group.
So it also looks like here I found you. I went to type MCPS. We don't have one, but it looks like it's pretty easy to create a channel if you wish to share that way. Or as Elise mentioned, which would probably be, unless anybody has any questions. If you don't, go ahead and give me a smiley face. But what we'll do now is we'll jump over and we'll take a look at the organization she uses for Padlet and give you a little bit about that. So here we are at Padlet. And why don't you tell us what we're seeing here, and then we'll do kind of the Padlet of what it is on the back end a little bit. So this is how you organized for your kids. Tell us a little about what we're seeing here.
So this is kind of connected to the Christopher Columbus one that we talked about before. So one of the images is is the biographical information, and the other is the route of Christopher Columbus. So I posted both of those images. The students remixed them, As you see, they're each named remix of, remix of, remix of. And then I sent them the link to the Padlet, and they were able to finish their ThingLink to post it to shared Padlet link. What I like about Padlet for sharing purposes is it's super easy to create as a teacher, and it's super easy for them to post. They can really quickly become familiar with it, and the ThingLink kind of maintains its function. As you can see, when you open it, you can view the they still, they still have the rollover effect.
Now, quick from a teacher point of view, that you don't have to go in and out. You can just click, over, go to the next, to the next.
Yep.
Fantastic. So this is Padlet while we're here. We said you published to Padlet. I'm going to go ahead and click on the Padlet homepage here. Can you give us what is it, your elevator speech? What is Padlet?
That's what I have to say. But it's essentially like a all where anyone who has the link can. It's another one that's synced with Google, which is great. You don't have to remember any other kind of password. And when you go to the homepage, you create Padlet, you share the link, and then all anybody has to do is double-click and text box created, and they can post whatever they want. There are more features where you can change the background. You can make sure that all the posts in grid style so that they're not all over the place. But it's very, very, very easy to use. Students in first and second grade at our school use it often. So it's a great to share just responses or to share links or really anything. So great for students, great for staff or resources as well.
It's gotten a shout out. I love that you said first graders are using this, because I've also seen some of our teachers have come on and said that they use it in AP 11th grade. So you don't get an app that's a school from one level to the next. All I had to do was right there click on Padlet, and as you can see, you create a new Padlet. That's how easy it is. And then once you're here, you can start posting. You click anywhere to post. So as mentioned, I want to write something. I'm going to write that's simple. And then if I throw this chat in the link there, Elise, if I do that, would other folks be able to get right on in and share with me?
Yeah.
Go ahead, if you're with me right now. I just threw in a link, and you come on and add. Maybe you want to add your favorite quote from a maybe picture or a video. If you jump in with me, you can click on the link and go ahead and do that. So, Elise, you just said the best way for them to link to this is to click on. Can you say that one more time?
Like where it says write something in your post, right where the gray out icons are, the one that's a plus sign with the circle. And then it says link from web. If you post or copy the ThingLink link into there, that's what helps it maintain its functionality.
Fantastic. So as you can see for me, I just popped over to the Think. I have my link. I'm going to come back over to my quick Padlet. I'm going to paste it right in here and press submit. Oops, apparently I could have done a better job there. Let's just. Oh, I didn't want to create a new one. So I'm so excited with myself here. Back for just a second. I'll use my own link to get back to it. Strategies, but mine is you can always delete and try again. Right? So I'm just going to click on the actual page itself. I see that was Lynn there with her Eleanor Roosevelt. I'm going to write in my students title it with their name, perhaps. Is that something you do?
Yep. And sometimes it's okay if it's anonymous.
On in. I will paste in my link. We'll come back to my care. Over to Padlet as we all watch. clicking, I'll write my name and click on the little button for everybody, and we will paste in a link from the web and submit. How Elise's students did that, so I'm glad am I as smart as a fourth grader? We're able to make a lovely organized page and have the pretty pictures being included as well.
And a best is, so see how they're kind of like splattered all over the place? It's kind of a cool effect, but if you want them to kind of be more in a grid shape like the Christopher Columbus ones were, you can change that in the settings part right-hand side.
Over here in settings,
the little gear, modify, yep. You can go to layout on the right also. There you go. And then so you can choose how you want them to be organized.
For myself, we've done Appy hours. We've talked about having students drop in their projects in a Google spreadsheet so everyone can activate it. I know right now, if I get a chance to have my students make their philosophy videos like we did last summer, that this is a far more motivationally engaging way for them to see. As you can see over here on whoever did Animoto for us, thank you. The video looks like dropped right in. How engaging for kids, right?
It's pretty.
Absolutely. So we've done kind of two big ones for you here. Before we leave Padlet, I'll see if anybody has any questions. If you do, throw them in the chat. If you don't, you can just give me a smiley face. And I'll review that you created a new Padlet by simply clicking on the plus sign to create a new Padlet. You had anything by double-clicking, which is great. This little plus sign is going to help you be able to add links, but as you can guess, you can also add video, sound. You're on a Chromebook, how easy it is to add a picture of yourself. I could even imagine this being an introduce yourself to your classmates Padlet and getting used to it with something really fun. Nothing is more fun than a selfie, right?
Oh, yeah.
No questions, so I'm just going to pop us back over here to our Lisa Loves Pink and our ThingLink. We started ThingLink by coming into ThingLink. When we wanted to create a group, we pressed Create here. That was able to get our group, and then we got to move from dragging and dropping or finding our images right here. Once we had, and I'll do me this time. Once we had an image, adding in the additional pieces of info that we needed, our little dots, this is easy. Click page, and then we can add links as well as text right here to the interactive images. When we were ready, I'll write in a little information here. Hi, all. And added our tags. You just go down here and press save. Save your image. Once it's been saved, it's super easy to share. You just click right here on share. I want to share it. Now, we didn't get this for our last time, so when we come in, this is the link that we look like we're going to take over to Padlet.
Yep.
And then we go over to Padlet. We click. Right. We press plus sign, and we're full circle. So questions on ThingLink, you can go ahead and go ahead and throw them in the chat. And while doing that, Elise, I'm going to ask you, it says students here. When a kid comes in, when one of your students come in, they're going to add a code. They're going to be able to do so. I didn't see. Where does the code show up so they can find it, and what do they see when they come in?
So on the screen, I believe you go to groups. So students, yeah. And so you have, excuse me, the students of Carrie Booth. Is you're in that little cog, the manage group. Click that. And the invite code Q3A2AB.
And I'm called the group master. I don't often get called master, but I'm feeling kind of saucy with it today. So ThingLink is on my good side. And here is the code that you would have. Your students when they log in, do they get prompted to just fill in this code right away?
When they register, it'll ask them, do you have an invite code? And do that. This is an option. Is little steps. This would be like if they didn't have the Google accounts. You can roster, it'll assign them like something that's formatted like an email, and they would use that to log in. But since they have the Google accounts, it's much easier just to have them log in that way.
Anybody out there who's been using Classroom, our kids are fairly proficient with the idea that you type in a code and then you enter into the classroom. And I will pull us back to wrap up on ThingLink. That your students, when they come in, if you want them to do an image, you can share. They can remix it themselves, or of course, they can also add their own media up the page. I'll check and see if there's any questions. If while you're sitting here thinking, oh my goodness, this is so cool, please share your ideas in the chat as little things you think you might do with ThingLink. And we're thinking about that and adding it, we'll field a question from Sherry. ThingLink could be used to introduce students at the beginning of the year. Now that's actually, that's interesting because kids could upload a picture of themselves or of theirs and then roll over to describe themselves on the pictures. That could definitely be used. I also mentioned how cool it would be to come in here with ThingLink, come into Padlet, and if you had class introductions, they could click and just add in their name, me, and they could easily add a picture of themselves right here. Of course, it could, though, by the way, be a ThingLink. I mean, that could very easily complex one. Let me see. I know I have a real picture of myself. If you all wonder, what does Carrie look like? I will give you what I look like right here. I have real pictures. There. They could easily pop and put themselves, and you could class right here. And how cool would that be at like a back-to-school night, where parents could come in and see their pictures? If it's a ThingLink, they could be rolling over it and learning something about themselves. Very cool. Very question. Does anybody have any more? You want to go ahead and throw them in the chat? A library media orientation, map of the media center. Absolutely. Picture of your classroom. Where's your reading center? Where's your, where are where do we put away our things? Kindergarten orientation. I've seen people take pictures of what the day looks like. And in yesterday's Appy Hour, we actually talked about orientations. And one of our suggestions was, we oftentimes see schools putting flips of pictures, but if you can get up parents and have them touch the Promethean board, they think that's really cool. By now, we're used to touching a Promethean board and having it move, and our kids just think that's normal. For parents to get up and click and explore the different parts of the room and learn a little bit more, it's engaging, it gets them stand up, and it gets them talking to each other and talking about what we're doing in our classrooms, and that's darn cool. So I love that idea. Orientations is an Appy Hour. Again, Sherry, I will give you props. So these are some really cool ideas for using ThingLink. Elise, do you have any kind of big picture, any kind of parting shots on, hey, what do you know, thinking about using ThingLink and you're thinking about connecting with Padlets? They're really simple technologies, but is there any advice you can give our crowd?
Just don't be afraid to take the risk. It's definitely something new, but the kids really buy into it, and I think it gives them such a unique way to show what they know and are able to do that they will really run with it. So Padlet makes it very, very easy for them to share with each other, and them being able to kind of, they're thinking visible to each other when it's a little bit deeper than just kind of a quick written response, I think is the most powerful parts.
So it's great advice. Take risk. It can be used to teach. It can also be used to have students show what they know. I love the connections to the science, technology, and engineering, but we also saw that it's really powerful with community building and building that community with students as well. We could use this in a number of different ways. And if you do choose to do that, please share it with us. Tweet out what your students do. Tweet out what you did. Send us an email, and maybe you'll find yourself featured on Appy Hour as well. As she just said, she's got 2 ideas and still brainstorming. Keep in touch. Every school has to at least to instructional technology specialists. We're there to help. If you're looking to take that leap, we'll be right there with you. And we're not just there to help, we're also there to learn from you guys. When we get really good ideas, we take them and share them in other places. So if you're one of our Rockstar Appy Hour users, keep talking back to us because we take those ideas and share them. Every kid deserves to have the Rockstar education. I know folks like Sherry and Elise and our crew here are delivering. We want to make sure to spread the word. And spread the word at Appy Hours. We come back every other week and we bring on cool presenters and match it with awesome ideas. We also record them. So if you missed Appy Hour today, well, you didn't, you're here with me, or you're watching this on a recording, as preaching to the choir, you know, but you can find all of our recorded Appy Hours on our Appy site. You can find something cool to check out. If you haven't had if you're looking for a good idea, it's Kindergarten orientation time, so check out our orientations and applications. And if you're interested in making stuff look really awesome, consider our 3 thumbs up, or 3 thumbs, for design. They're really cool. If you do cool things or want to follow us on Twitter. We're always out there. We're always sharing ideas, and we look forward to hearing from you, technology platform you use. Let me give a big shout out. Thanks to Elise. You were awesome. Yay!
Sure.
And everybody, keep connecting cool apps with Rockstar Instruction. Thanks, and have a great day.